Welcome back to the Tournament Center. I'm Randy Buehler here with Brian David Marshall, and we're joined by Justin Cavanaugh, going to do a little deck tech for us with a deck he calls Go-Go Power Ranger. Other people have called it Rule 420, Project 420.
Project 420.5N.
Yeah, right. I like Go-Go Power Ranger. So tell us, what does this deck actually do? A lot of people have talked about it, but what does it do?
See, the basis build combo is the combo between the Ranger and any of the either Cap or Finks with Gargadon. Because whenever this guy comes back and persist, you can loop it from the Gargadon because the counters coming together and they negate each other.
All right, so persist says this guy comes back with a -1/-1 counter.
Yes. Which
which means in theory you're only supposed to get to reuse him once,
right.
But you've got Juniper Order Ranger in the deck, which says this guy comes back with a +1/+1 counter.
Exactly.
And now here's where Rule 420 kicks in. If you got a +1/+1 counter and a -1/-1 counter, poof, they evaporate,
exactly.
They vanish. So okay. Now I can cycle this guy. I can sacrifice him to Greater Gargadon, or I can sacrifice him to any. Do you have more than Greater Gargadon to sack to?
It's just Gargadon, but Blink helps out at times too because I can blink like when I can play this guy with a Ranger out and just the Ranger gets infinitely big, so I can just keep shooting himself.
Oh, cool.
So or I can I like to call one with the hammer. Like I haven't had to do it yet.
Okay.
But if I swing with a Ranger and they don't block and there's a red cap in play, I can just blink the red cap and this guy gets huge infinitely right there. But it hasn't.
Wait, how does that work? You blink him? Why does it go infinite?
Because I'll just make himself shoot himself as he keeps coming back into play.
Right.
So he'll come into play, shoot himself. They'll get both kick counters. Come into play, shoot himself. They'll both get counters.
He effectively kills himself, and that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Do it, but it would be nice. Just a nice big smack.
Nice. That's like the old Nantuko Husk combo, right? Where, fair enough.
There have been versions of this deck.
I was going to say, I see no Nantuko Husk. Is that a card you thought about? Or?
We had talked about doing black, but just like the Gargadon's a lot more resilient than a Husk.
Okay.
Because they can't deal with it most of the time. But the reason I kind of liked Husk because I was trying to work in Mannequin, and you still keep the red cap if you go black, and you get Murmuring Bosk. But it just seemed a lot more solid to keep their Gargadon because it's harder to be dealt with because it's RFG whenever you start the combo.
Right.
And this guy's usually pretty big, and if they kill one of these guys, you can just wait and do it in response to whatever they're going to do instead of having to go off right then when you play it.
Right. Now the mana in this deck seems really tricky because you got a green-white card, right, and you got this guy who's double red or double black. So how did you manage to make the mana work?
It took a couple of testing days. We figured it out. Like originally, these were all like another Highland Will, then another Flats, and I think it was also...
Right, note the Into the North, by the way. That's the really clever thing about this mana base that I see. Into the North with Snow dual lands means suddenly, not only is this a rampant growth, not only does it accelerate you, but you're going to get 2 colors out of it.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
About a week before we started playing, we tried to figure in Village because it's just amazing in the format. If you can play it, it's just really good.
Okay.
And we finally found some room for it, and it was always better than what it would have been in the deck, so when we put it in there, it was amazing. Like, it's definitely won me a couple games today, just swinging with it, just getting some damage in.
Cool.
So...
I was going to talk a little bit about your sideboard, which is the Glittering Wish package for your sideboard.
For the Glittering Wish package, we pretty much have more pieces of the combo, like a 4th Red Cap, a 4th Juniper, and a 4th Kitchen Finks, just so if I need a piece of the combo, I can go get it. And you also have Harmonic Sliver, which is just amazing sometimes, because there's always one card you might need to get.
Okay.
And the 2 Shushers are good, because if I resolve a wish against blue, I get the Shusher. And if I'm playing against any deck, I can also board in 1 Shusher and command for it or wish for it, whichever one I need to end up doing. Or hopefully draw it, because it's always easier to just draw it. And then we have Oversolve Dusk, who's just a pretty good finisher if I need to get him out there. I haven't had to play him yet today, but he's just big and fat, and like a lot of stuff just can't deal with him. And I've had Teferi's Mode as a 1-up, which is part of the blue splash, but also for the flashback of the Blink. There's only the 1 Boreal Shelf and the 1 Snow-Covered Island for it, but it's definitely won me games today because a lot of the decks just can't deal with it. So you just play it, and they bought me like, I was playing against Alan Comer, and it bought me like 10 turns. And I finally comboed out against him before he could combo out against me. And I played a couple of times, like I played against Vargas, but he had Oblivion Ring 1 game and Primal Command for the other game, so it didn't help me out as much. Then the other cards on the board are 3 Fire Sprouts, which I can also wish for if I need, but it's amazing against Elves and like other aggro decks. I board out the Threshers because like most of the time they're just not going to be as good, and the Fire Sprouts are just so much better. And we have the 2 Squall Lines that come in for the Primal Commands against Fairies, which was good for. I'm 1-1 for Fairies today, so it's not terrible. I tried to build the deck so it would work like the old Project X, where it either started swinging for game or it could combo out if it needed to.
Right.
So like added in Goyfs and main deck Threshers just for the format, but just they're big creatures that a lot of decks just cannot deal with at times because Goyf can get big really quick.
Very cool. So is this a deck you'd recommend for other folks to go try
out?
out?
I feel like you can work with it and you like it. It's, for me, my choices was this or fairies, and I just really didn't like fairies just because it's a 50% between the mirror match, and this is going to be the same exact mirror or same exact percentage for that match.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'd just have a lot more fun playing this deck.
Very cool. You having fun?
Yeah, I'm having fun. The last card we added was Blink, which was originally going to be Oblivion Rings, but it just didn't work. But Blink's been amazing for every time I've needed it, just because it protects the combo. If I played all the combo out and they go to like Terror or Nameless Inversion, I can just blink the creature, keep it, and continue.
All right.
So it's definitely worked out well for me today.
Cool. So first Pro Tour ever.
First Pro Tour.
First Tour Pro over. Here you are deep into day 2, looking at, you know, maybe getting into another Pro Tour, getting to the top. Top 50 get you an invite to Berlin, huh?
That's what I'm looking
for.
All
right. Well, good luck to you. Thanks for sharing. Very sort of clever take on a new deck.
No problem.
All right. For the Tournament Center, this is Randy Buehler and Brian David Marshall. Stay tuned.